You and the place you are attracted to come together in order to create healing, wholeness, and oneness. Your relationship to that place tells you something about the relationship with yourself. The light of a place holds the leaden weight of our darkness, and the darkness of a place holds the radiating ember of our light. Therein is the balance. Welcome to You Are the Journey, the podcast where we explore the profound depths of the human experience. I'm your host, SIMRAN, and together we'll dive into life's unfolding, its openings, growth, expansion, and illumination. In this space, we reflect on what it means to soften into our truest selves, radiate our inner light, and aspire to align with the vision and purpose of our souls to create revolutionary purpose, fulfillment, and joy in life. Personal reflections, contemplations, and insights to help you become the best version of yourself while embracing the unique path that is yours to walk. You are not on a journey, you are the journey. Hello, dear soul. Let's start off by taking a deep inhale and a deep exhale, grounding and coming into the space together and meeting with our hearts, our minds, and our souls to have an adventure, an exploration, an experience. I recently shared that I have moved again. Moved cities, moved homes, moved dimensions, moved ways of experiencing and expressing, and I'm continuing that movement. Today I want to talk about homes, your home, along with your and my many homes. Do you know that it is said that the average person will own 3 different homes within their lifetime and move approximately 12 times in life? If you read my book, Conversations with the Universe, you may already know that. Homes represent the self and the body. Each level of the home represents an aspect of self. Each move represents movement or transformation within oneself. The items within your home also tell you a lot about yourself. And the experiences that occur in that home reflect the energy within your subconscious that is attempting to rise into awareness. I want you to take a moment and span your many moves, your different spaces, your various homes, and the life changes that came with each one. How did your moves connect you to more of your inner and outer self, and in relation to your transformation, personal growth, and or your spiritual expansion? Take a moment to contemplate. How many homes have you lived in? How many times have you moved? With each move, what did you gain? And what was each move inviting you to become aware of inside yourself? How did you grow in each space? As I shared within my last broadcast, I moved again. In the last 10 years, I have moved 14 times. Now, sometimes this was from conscious choice. Other times it was due to circumstances, perhaps even chaos occurring. And surprisingly, well, also not so surprisingly, most of these prompts to move were nudges from spirit. And they always arose at exactly the right time to answer the next call of my soul, to respond with the next place of growth or expansion that had to come, that I invited in, that I wanted and longed for. And perhaps now you can see that you've done the same. As I deepened my reflection on moving and movement, it brought the awareness of having lived in 25 different spaces within my lifetime. And I'm likely not done. I have moved a lot. And through each of these steps, I have grown tremendously, personally and spiritually. And if you look at the various homes that you've been in, or spaces that you've moved through, you may also now realize, wow, in this place I did grow personally in this way. And in this place, I did expand spiritually in this way. The greatest learning has been the realization that the most important quality to maintain is non-attachment. We must not cling to where we have been, nor be averse to change that desires to come. And this relates to any type of home, whether it's a physical home, whether it's a job, or a relationship. It means it is also necessary to be open-minded and trusting in such steps. Each time we move, our souls open us to greater expansion on every level, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Change always invites us more deeply into ourselves. New places and spaces, they help us discern the veils that are arising for awareness. It's like we step into an energy, and that energy unlocks something inside of us. Or we bring our energy to a space, and our energy unlocks something inside of the space. And symbiotically, we work together to bring an understanding about. We're not aware of it in the moment. But the more present we are, the more we can become aware of what's truly at work behind the scenes of what we think is life. Never leave a home before it is time. You cannot leave until you can stay. In leaving early, you miss an opportunity of profound recognition. You miss what the space came to you for. You miss the energy that it's trying to bring to your awareness. You miss the experience of dissolving any unwanted energies and claiming any energies that can bring you greater wholeness. Now, as you're hearing this, if you have left spaces too soon, I don't want you to panic or regret or beat yourself up, because we always do what we do, and it is right because that's what we did. Correct? We can't go back and change a moment, so it must have been perfect at that time. But that also brought you to this listening, because you can simply use the experience of abandoning that space as an opportunity to see a pattern, a behavior, or a level of reactivity that exists within. You can see how your restlessness or your angst had you move quicker than perhaps the soul would have had you move. You can see how the identity responded. Every home holds a specific energy that lies dormant within, those which then become activated so that we delve deeper into the illusions carried, as well as glimpses into our own nature that are awaiting recognition. Every place and space holds energy. Each home, piece of land, and area holds specific energies, particularly the energies of past experiences that have occurred there. These places also hold the energy of the individuals who lived there previously, and we also bring our energy to every place that we live. Our world is reciprocal when it comes to energy. It seeks states of balance. I can share a story. I could share many stories, actually, of different places that I've lived, but I'll share the one where I first discovered this. I had moved into a home that was 128 Rustic Manor Court. Now, 128 is an 11, so right there, when you have a home that's an 11, that represents a space that is designed to grow you spiritually in a catalyzed way. And that is where my 1111 journey began, was in that home. And then the street name, Rustic Manor, that in itself depicts there are parts of the self, parts of the home in which it's rustic, it's old, it's holding something that has been worn or become rusted or carries a certain level of nostalgia. So as we moved into the space, I specifically remember being at the closing table with my husband at the time. And the realtor, once we finished signing the papers, he picks up this big box and he puts it on the table. And with the oddest tone of voice and kind of a sly smile, he says, "Here's a box that goes with the house. It contains all the warranties and paperwork. And I need this box back when you leave the home." And I said to him, I said, "Why would we leave the home?" And he said, "Well, this home has had 3 owners. And every owner that's gone in there has ended up divorcing and leaving their spouse and their children." It was just an odd experience to have someone state that out loud, but he obviously had a recognition that there was a pattern in the home. And when we moved into the space, what ended up happening was something very similar to what happened to the 3 prior couples. I was beginning my own journey of spiritual growth at the time, and so I was becoming really aware of energy, and I felt certain energies in the home. Within the home, there had been certain experiences that had trapped negative or darker energies within that space. There had been a slave that had been on the property who had been killed and had watched his family killed in front of him. And his soul was trapped in that property, thinking that that was all still happening. He didn't realize that he could go to the light. And there was another instance where my young son of 3 years old looked out the window and he turned to me and he said, "Mommy, you can go now. My other mommy's here." And I looked out of the window into the garden and I said, Where? Where do you see her?" And he said, "She's right there. She's standing next to the water." And I told him, I said, let her know that right now I'm really enjoying having you as my son. And so I would appreciate that you stay with me this time." And then it was a year later. He did the same thing. He just looked over at me with the most crystal clear voice and mesmerizing eyes. And he said to me, right when I was tucking him into bed, "Mommy, my other mommy is back. She said she gave you a year and now she wants me." And I said, "Where is she right now?" And he said, "Mommy, she's floating right there by the window on the other side." And so I said to him, I said, "Well, you need to let her know that you're my son in this lifetime and that she can go to the light and you will see her when it's your time." And after these incidents happened, I ended up calling a dear friend of mine who I had invited several times to the Belief Center, a spiritual center that I had for a period of time. And I asked him to come, and I said, "There's something going on in the house. I just want to see if you feel or sense anything or hear anything." And so he came, and immediately the next morning he came to me and he said, "I couldn't sleep all night. There is a Native American woman that is pacing your halls, and she is saying that you have her son. And she doesn't realize that this is not her son, but her son was taken from her and he looks similar, so she believes that he is." And I said, "Well, would you please tell her what's going on?" And he said, "Well, I had a conversation with her last night, and we are to meet again tonight and have another one so that she can understand." And so you see, we do have these energies that can remain in a home until resolved. There's pain that stays embedded there because everything is energy. There's purposes for which those things appear. There was a purpose that those things appeared for me, for my son. Even the other situation with the slave was of great purpose to our family. It's important to revere and respect these spaces that we enter because we are there to bring them into balance, to create that energy exchange. Our world is reciprocal when it comes to energy. It seeks states of balance. An energy exchange must take place to create that balance. And that exchange will either be one of healing, which brings about balance, or one of wounding, which increases imbalance. That is the yin-yang effect present within the relationship of two becoming one. And that's the relationship that we are to create when entering a space. We are to regard it and make it sacred. You and the place you are attracted to come together in order to create healing, wholeness, and oneness. Your relationship to that place tells you something about the relationship with yourself. So there's a grand gift in the whole experience. The light of a place holds the leaden weight of our darkness, and the darkness of a place holds the radiating ember of our light. Therein is the balance. So I'm going to let you chew on that for a while before diving into all the signs I encountered on another episode. Magical and synchronistic signs appeared every step of the way when it was time to make my move. They not only prompted the move, but they also directed me in exactly where I needed to go. So stay tuned for another episode, and we'll dive more deeply into the signs, symbols, and synchronicities. If you've not read my book, Conversations with the Universe, I invite you to. You might be amazed at the many ways that the universe is speaking to you. And if you want to hear more stories about signs and symbols, then definitely connect with me at my Substack. I am SIMRAN1111.substack.com. I'm so thrilled you were here. In love, of love, with love and as love, be well. I am deeply grateful for your presence today in joining me for You Are the Journey. As we continue to explore the depths of our human experience, remember that every step you take is a vital part of your sacred evolution. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with others who might benefit from these conversations. And I hope you'll stay connected through my Substack newsletter and community titled Beyond the Illusion. Your support helps us draw in a community dedicated to personal growth and collective awakening. I invite you to carry the insights we've shared into your daily life and allow them to guide you toward fulfillment and joy. Keep radiating your light and nurturing your soul's purpose. Remember, you are not on a journey, you are the journey, and every moment is an opportunity for transformation. Until we meet again, in love, of love, with love and as love, I am SIMRAN. Be well.